Magandang umaga. Isang press conference po ang sinasagawa sa public viewing ng burol ni DILG Secretary Jessie Robredo. Inaasahang magbibigay ng mensahe si Attorney Leni Robredo, ang misis ng yumaong si Secretary Jessie Robredo. Panoorin po natin ito.
We would like to know if what's the decision of the family as to the offer of the government that the Secretary will be there in the libingan ng mga bayan.
First of all po, we feel very honored na in-offer yung libingan ng mga bayani, but we are very sure that Jess would prefer to be buried here. Naga has always been his home. He always tells me this is his happy place. Kaya palagay ko, we will be doing him a great disservice pag hindi siya dito nilibing.
Ma'am, we would like to know also how the family feels now, the brothers and sisters of Secretary Robredo and his parents.
How we are coping, syempre napakahirap. Masakit masyadong mawala ng asawa, masakit mawala ng tatay, masakit mawala ng kapatid. Pero kami kasi alam namin na ito yung ginusto ng Diyos. Wala naman kami magagawa kung hindi tanggapin. Si Jess all through his life, parati niya sinasabi na kung anong nakatakda yung mangyayari. When the accident happened, maluwag sa kalooban kong tanggapin na yun yung nakatakda para sa kanya. Kaya palagay ko yung pinakamaitutulong na lang namin sa katahimikan niya na ipakita sa kanya na matatag kami at kaya namin.
And last question, Ma'am Len. Ano po yung usapan mo ni Secretary while he was on flight?
Actually, mahaba yung usapan namin. On a regular basis, nag-uusap kami mga 10-20 times a day. Pero that particular Saturday, halos siguro na doble yun. Yung exchange of text messages saka yung tawagan. He was flying to Cebu while meron namang kami ditong okasyon. Kung ano yung nangyayari sa okasyon, I would update him. Tatawag siya, masaya. Gusto niya makausap yung anak ko, magko-congratulate. All throughout the day, ganun yung tenor ng aming usapan. He wants to be home. Aakala niya matatapos yung okasyon ng anak ko at 5 p.m. But at 2 p.m., I texted him, tapos na, wala ka na maaabutan. So he knew na wala na siya maaabutan. I thought hindi na siya tutuloy. But then a staff member of his told me na tutuloy pa din siya. Yun kasi, it was not very unusual. Kasi tuwang-tuwa siya pag nasusurpresa niya kami. Yung akala namin hindi siya dadating, pero dadating siya. So sabi ko, gano'n na naman yung mangyayari. But I texted him at about 3:15, that was 3:15. Sabi ko pa, tutuloy ka daw pala. Tapos ang sagot niya sa akin, yes, boarded na. So sabi ko, boarded ka na. Tapos sabi niya, take your time. Kasi ako talaga yung sumusundo sa kanya sa airport. I drive the car, sinusundo ko siya sa airport. Sabi niya, take your time kasi ETA is 4:15 pa naman. So I think I left the house about 3:40 in the afternoon. I drove to Pili Airport, to Naga Airport in Pili. Just before I reached the airport, nag-text siya. Sabi niya, balik ang plane sa Cebu. So I asked him bakit, but he did not answer me. Instead, he replied again, balik ang plane sa Cebu. I was waiting for his instructions if I would wait for him at the airport or if I would go home muna, then just come back. Pero hindi ko siya makontak. I was trying to call him up. So instead, I decided to go home. I texted him, tawag ako ng tawag sa'yo, hindi ka sumasagot. And he answered. Mahirap kasi ang signal. So I iniwan ko muna yon kasi nagda-drive nga ako. But when I reached home, it was about, I think, mga 4, siguro mga ano yun, mga, tinignan ko pala. Tinignan ko yung log ng cellphone ko, it was 4:40. Kaya sabi ko, imposibleng 4:30 nangyari yung accident. Unless yung time ng phone ko was advanced. Pero 4:40 yung lang sa cellphone ko. I was finally able to contact him sa smart number niya. He answered. Pero sabi niya sa akin, Ma, sandali lang, may inaasikaso ako, tawagan na lang kita. in a very calm voice. It was as if I was calling him while he was in the middle of a meeting. Tapos sabihin niya sa akin, tatawagan na lang. So I told him, okay. Hinayaan ko na yun. I didn't call him again. Kasi I thought for a fact that nagland sila safely in Cebu. And kaya siya busy because he was trying to find tickets in a commercial flight. Pero about 15 minutes after, mga 5 o'clock siguro, 4:55 to 5 o'clock, his security in Manila, Paul, called me up. Sabi niya, ma'am, nakausap mo ba si sir? Medyo nalito pa nga ako because I told him, oo, 5 minutes ago. Tapos sabi niya, 5 minutes? Sabi ko, baka 10 minutes. Pero apparently, it was about 15 to 20 minutes na. Tapos sabi ko, bakit? Tapos sinabi niya na sabi niya, a few minutes ago, he pulled me up, asking for help na i-clear daw yung Masbate Airport because they were going to make an emergency landing. He already did that. In fact, I think the airport was cleared already for landing. Several officials were there. Pero may sightings daw of a plane na nag-crash sa dagat. Hindi pa nagsisink in sa akin, so sabi ko, sinuggest kaya yun. Sabi ni Paul, siguro ma'am hindi naman. Sana ma'am hindi naman. Pero when I put my phone down, dun na, naisip ko na baka siya na nga yun. I told my youngest daughter first because she was the one with me. I told her, let us pray. Because something might have happened to Papa's plane. She was already crying. I decided to call up Aika. She was in Araneta Coliseum watching the UAAP, Ateneo versus FEU. I told her what happened. She left the game, picked up her sister, and they went to church. In-inform ko na din yung brother-in-law ko, saka yung mga sisters-in-law ko. My youngest daughter, Jillian, was already crying, and she was asking me, can we go to church? And I told her, in my condition, I don't think I can drive. Kasi yung feeling ko parang nag-jelly na yung aking legs. In a few minutes, dumating si Mayor Bongat and the City Council. Tapos until ang dami ng tao sa bahay. Everyone was hoping that he would be okay. Pero ako, after the first night, I knew that he was gone.
And ma'am, last question lang po. Gano'n po katotoo na si Sec Jess tumawag dito sa Pili Airport? And the Pili Airport advised him na by that time darating yung aeroplano, gabi na, baka madilim na, so hindi na daw po safe na mag-land.
Hindi ko
So
yun
he was advised to go back to Cebu and better take the Cebu Pacific flight.
Hindi, I only read about it in the papers, pero hindi niya yun sa akin sinabi. Actually, ang sinabi niya lang sa akin yung babalik sa Cebu.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next.
Hi, ma'am. Nakikiramay po kami.
Maraming salamat.
Ako po si Cara David sa Channel 7. Nakausap niyo na po ba yung 8th ko ni Secretary Leonardo? Ano po yung sa mga complaints pa nila? Ito yung po yung nakausap.
Hindi ko pa siya nakausap, but I texted his father. I was told that he was going to Manila on board a van, on board an ambulance, I think, with his father. I looked for the telephone number of his father, and then I texted him. Kasi ako, I knew how he must be feeling. Ang sabi ko, Sir, si Lenny Robredo po ito, pakisabi po kay June, nagpapasalamat kami. Nagpapasalamat kami kasi nabuhay siya. Nagpapasalamat kami kasi alam namin na binantayan niya yung asawa ko. Ano po yun may mga nababasa ako against him. Pero who is ever prepared for a plane crash? Diba? We do not expect him na isalba niya yung asawa ko at siya mamamatay. Kung ano man yung nangyari doon, instinct yun, at sinabi ko nga kanina, yun yung nakatakda. Si June po served my husband very well. Mabait siyang tao, mabait siya sa amin lahat. Kaya kung ano man yung nararamdaman ko sa kanya ngayon, pasasalamat yun lahat.
Tapos maraming
nagsasabi na bigyan daw ng posthumous confirmation. Tapos ngayon, pinag-uusapan na naman yung controversy kung bakit hindi siya na-confirm sa CA. Tingin niyo po, this is necessary? Ano po sa tingin niyo yung the best way to remember and pagbigyan ng pagpupugay ang asawa niyo po si Secretary Robredo?
Ako po, ayoko mag-comment tungkol dun sa idea na magbibigay ng posthumous confirmation. Pero siguro sa akin yung personal na pinag-usapan namin tungkol dyan, isi-share ko sa inyo. Yung na-schedule yata yung confirmation na Wednesday, I think it was last Wednesday. The Wednesday before that, I texted him. Sabi ko, because we are devotees of the Virgin of Peña Francia, I was telling him, Pa, I started the novena today for your confirmation hearing. Sabi ko, tamang-tama ang ika-9 days, yung hearing mismo, on a Wednesday. Yung sagot niya po sa akin, ay, wag mo na yung ipagdasal. Sabi niya, okay na, kahit hindi ako makonfirm, okay lang yun. Sabi niya, ipagdasal mo na lang yung midterms ng anak mo kasi magbe-midterms na. So ako palagay ko, I'm just speculating, pero baka hindi naman yun ganun ka-importante for him. I think yung mas importante sa kanya na nagawa niya yung kanyang trabahong mahusay. Parang ano naman kasi, para sa akin, parang formality yon. Ayoko na mag-comment kung yung mga postponements, yung mga previous confirmation. Pero I would like to think na hindi yun malaking bagay sa kanya na hindi siya na-confirm.
One final question. Your husband has been a bastion of good governance and he's been awarded several times for yung pinapakita niyang good governance. So, paano po siya dapat alalahanin or what would the family want na para talagang magpatuloy yung legacy po sa family?
Ako, as of now, siguro dahil numb with grief pa din kami, wala akong maisip na concrete steps. I would want to continue kung hindi yung legacy niya kasi mukhang hindi ko kaya yung kanyang ginawa. Pero gusto ko sana to keep his memory alive. Kung ano man yun, siguro later on pag-uusapan. Pero I think, yung pinaka mapapakita siguro para alalahanin siya, na sana yung mga nasimulan niya mapatuloy kung sino man yung papalit. At saka yung mga seeds na naipundar niya sa mga local government units. Sana tumubo yun. Kasi sayang naman. Parang pag hindi kasi yun nangyari, parang yung lahat na pagod ng asawa ko, parang mapupunta sa wala.
Alright, mukhang nagkakaroon po tayo ng bahagyang problema sa technical at hindi natin gaano marinig ngayon ang boses nitong si Attorney Leni Robredo. Pero narinig nga po natin kanina ang kanyang naging pahayag at sinabi nga po niya na bagamat very honored sila sa pag-offer ng gobyerno na ilibing sa libingan ng mga bayani, itong si Secretary Robredo ay mas pinili nilang ilibing na lamang sa Naga ang kanyang asawa dahil yung Naga raw ay ang kanyang tahanan. It is a happy place for Secretary Robredo and it is a great disservice to Secretary Robredo if he won't be buried in Naga. Sa ngayon po ay napakahirap daw po at talagang they're coping very hard. Masakit daw na mawala ng asawa, tatay at kapatid. Pero ito ang ginusto ng Diyos at wala silang magagawa kundi tanggapin ito. Balikan po natin ang isinasagawang press conference ni Attorney Leni Robredo.
This morning, mag-uusap po yung magkakapatid tungkol doon.
Bakit hindi ko agad nasabi?
Kasi hinintay nila yung gusto nila mag-decide na sila magkakapatid. Hinintay nila yung panganay.
Kasi di ba sa
Hindi ko pa yun masabi kasi alam niyo nararamdaman namin ngayon while nalulungkot kami. Parang binibiro namin siya pag nasa bahay kami ng mga anak ko. Binibiro namin siya, sabi namin, Papa, grabe ka na ha. Kasi I am sure na yung pinakita ng tao was beyond his imagination. Ako, he was always assured of the love of the people of Naga. Pero I think what he was not prepared was yung ganit, hindi lang pala mga taga-Naga yung nagmamahal sa kanya. Every time nakikita namin may nagpapakita na sa amin sa news, yung mga articles sa dyaryo, mga tributes about him. Parang ang saya namin. Ang saya namin kasi lalo nung nag-DILG yung asawa ko, very hardworking siya, very passionate about sa kanyang trabaho. Pag umuwi siya, minsan sinasabi niya, may patutunguhan kaya yung ginagawa ko. Parang nag-wonder siya if na-appreciate yung efforts niya. Kasi iba yung national sa local. Yung local parang instant yung results. Hindi yata siya nun nasanay. Parang naiinip siya sa national level na hindi instant yung results. Kaya parati niyang tinatanong kung na-appreciate kaya yung ginagawa ko. Kaya sabi ko po, pag kinakausap mo kasi siya parati hanggang ngayon, sabi ko, ayan, sinagot ka na. Kaya parang hindi ko pa naman iniisip. Siguradong dadating yung punto na mamimiss namin siya. Pero right now, dahil tinatatagan namin yung loob namin, mas gusto namin isipin na ang saya-saya niya na ngayon.
Sorry ma'am, my name is Joey Diso po, VP Informer. There is one question ma'am. What do you think is the greatest thing Secretary Robredo did for the city and for the entire country?
Ako hindi ko po yata masasagot yun. Ang pwede ko lang po sabihin yung kung anong ginawa niya para sa aming pamilya. Si Jess po was a regular husband, a regular father. Hindi siya secretary, hindi siya mayor pag nasa bahay. Gusto ko po sabihin, he wanted to feel important sa amin. So, di ba umuwi lang siya every weekend? Yung lahat na aayusin sa bahay, hinihintay ko siya. Ang gusto ko sabihin, busted lights, plumbing, yung mga sirang telepono, etc. Hinihintay siya noon. Kasi sinasabi niya, one of the reasons why he wanted to come home every weekend was that he feels grounded here. Mahirap po kasi yung, di ba, yung power has its way of getting into you eh. Parang sinasabi niya na every time he comes home, he wants to feel like a regular dad, a regular husband. Kaya kahit kaya kong gawin, hinihintay siya noon. Just last weekend po, pinaayos niya yung lahat na sirang ilaw sa bahay namin. Yung doorbell po namin sira, pinayos niya. Pag wala kaming, pag nagba-brown out dito, kasi madalas po yung brown out dito, itetext na namin siya, brown out na naman. And after 5 minutes, he would call me up. O ganito yung updates. Ganito oras daw dadating. May inaayos daw sa ganito. Pag nawawalan kami ng internet sa bahay, ite-text ko po siya, walang internet. At may pupunta na sa amin ng mga technicians, tumawag po si secretary, aayusin daw po namin yung internet. May mga ganon. Ang gusto ko sabihin, while it might have been unnecessary, na siya pa yung ginugulo namin sa mga bagay na as trivial as that, it made him feel important. May ginagawa siya para sa pamilya. Parating ang sagot niya sa akin, pag nagsa-thank you ako sa kanya, sa ginawa niya, sasabihin niya sa akin, least I can do, ma. Yun yung parating sagot niya. Palagay ko, importante yun kasi he was very, very conscious na sinasabi niya yan, hindi ako masanay. Parating niya yan sa akin, sinasabi, mahirap masanay. He was referring to yung perks na nararamdaman ng office. Para sasabihin niya sa akin, mahirap masanay kasi baka hanap-hanapin. Kaya, palagay ko kaya siya umuwi every weekend. Kasi ito yung siya eh. One time may nagtatanong sa kanya, bakit ka ba uwi ng uwi? Ang sagot niya po, pag hindi ako uuwi, masisira yung ulo ko sa Maynila. very simple, very very ordinary yung mga hilig niya. Pag dumadating siya, ang ano niya po, ang attire niya sa Naga the entire weekend, naka shorts, naka t-shirt, naka chinelas. Yung pinaka ginagawa niya dito, nagbibisikleta siya sa umaga, nagbibisikleta siya sa hapon. Walang security, walang lahat. Palagay ko yun yung kanyang happiness. Yung kanyang trabaho sa Manila, talagang trabaho yun para sa kanya. Pero yung personal na buhay niya andito.
Ma'am, good afternoon. Good morning po. RD Condolences. Ma'am, Miguel Ortila po from Solar TV. Obviously, as we've all seen, si Secretary is very much well-loved and he's a very effective government official. I'm just interested to know, sa mga anak niyo ba, meron bang nagpapakita ng signs that share the same passion as him? And, parang, meron bang most likely to follow the footsteps of their dad?
Kung yung signs ng mga hilig niya, meron. Yung si Aika sa si Trisha, yung pangalawa, very active sila sa community service sa Ateneo. Pareho sila maraming advocacies, pareho sila maraming mga groups na sinalihan. Pero palagay ko hindi towards politics. Mas service, pero hindi politics. Pero syempre we are not closing doors, pero very slim yung probability na may mapupulitin ko.
Just na follow up po. You also told us earlier na si Secretary Jessie came back to Naga for the occasion yung sa long-term protocol. How is she taking this? Kamusta po siya ngayon?
Okay naman siya. She was devastated at first. Siyempre, I think it was normal for her to feel that way. Especially because nung papunta na kami sa airport, while I was on my way to the airport, binasa ko sa kanya yung text ng papa niya. Yung text ng papa niya, isama mo si Jill pag sundo, blowout natin. Yan yung tinext niya. But they had a victory celebration in Starbucks with the other swimmers, so I didn't bring her with me. Pero I explained to her that her papa already knows that tapos na yung okasyon. It was not really the main reason why he was hurrying to be home. At talagang parati yung nagmamadaling umuwi, kahit alanganin. Ngayon, she's taking it well. Mukhang naintindihan niya na din na hindi siya to blame. Ganun lang talaga yung tatay niya. Parating nagmamadaling umuwi.
Yeah, Attorney Lenny, my sympathies to you and your family. Did the Secretary share his frustrations within the DILG? Right now, his office is locked because of certain documents that indicate there was an investigation ongoing. Would you like to share with us?
Yes, he did. He had a lot of frustrations, pero siguro it was told to me in confidence, kaya hindi ko nasasabihin kung ano, but he was very hopeful. He was very hopeful na may mangyayari. He was always telling me na importante talaga na matino yung presidente. At dahil matino yung presidente namin ngayon, he was very hopeful that things will fall into place. Kung ano man yung mga gusto niyang maalis sa department na hinahawakan niya, matatanggal yun. Medyo impatient siya, pero he knew napapunta na sana sa tamang daan.
And did you feel that the cabinet shared his vision, what he wanted to do, or did you feel some kind of isolation as some suggest?
Hindi. Actually, parati niya sa akin sinasabi na parang ang husay daw ng choices sa cabinet. Kinikwento niya, hindi ko na siguro isa-isahin, pero I told the persons concerned already. He admired a lot of people in the cabinet. Sabi niya lahat daw hardworking, lahat matitino. He was even telling me na parati yan, pagkausap ko siya on the phone, sabihin niya, grabe si ganito. One example, he was telling me, yan naman si Dinky, ang sipag-sipag. So sinabi ko sa kanya, mas masipag pa sa'yo? Because I thought no one was as hardworking as he is. Tapos sabi niya, oo, at least ako may weekend, siya wala.
You may want to address this. There is a report that you were the one who had told the President about some documents being spirited out of his office. Is this correct?
I was not the one who told the president that. I only requested that our residence in Manila be secured. I knew he had documents with him. I do not know if it is in the house. He showed me some papers he was preparing. Kasi
On a more personal level, if you don't mind my asking, you were told yesterday by your mother that you are about to celebrate your 25th wedding anniversary.
no, we just celebrated.
You just celebrated the
We just celebrated last June 27. Yun nga, very typical jest na naman. We celebrate, our 25th wedding anniversary was on a weekday. So I knew he wouldn't be coming home. I was in Manila the weekend before and we celebrated already with the entire family. So, yung day na yon, yung day of our anniversary, was a regular, nag-work ako, yung anak ko nag-school, etc., etc. In the afternoon, he arrived. Hindi ko alam na dadating siya, pero dumating siya. Meron siyang bundle of flowers na iba-iba. It wasn't even a bouquet, it was just a bundle. Sinurprise niya ako, yung pala yung flowers, hiningi niya dun sa mga nadaanan niya. And nilamp niya yun sa isang bundle. Yun yung kanyang regalo sa akin. Instead, he only wanted to surprise me. He arrived late afternoon, I think, and he left the day, early morning after.
So it wasn't a grand celebration?
It wasn't. We didn't even eat out. We just stayed at home.
Ma'am Lenny, good morning. Ma'am, itanong ko lang po kung yung suot ngayon na relo ni Chilian, yun na po ang relo ni Secretary Jess Robredo.
Opo, yun po yung, sabi ko nga magandang advertisement sa Timex. Kasi po yung relo, after 3 days underwater, it was still working. Yung time was accurate. Yung nakuha po namin yung kanyang necklace, yun naman yung suot ni Trisha. I have his wallet, nandun yung wallet. Kaya lang hindi ko na magagastos yung pera kasi basang-basa na. I was told last night that his bag, meron po siyang parating maliit na bag na nakuha daw po last night. So I was asking if he could have it.
Ma'am, meron pong panawagan, dapat ipagpatuloy po ni Secretary Jess Robredo yung magandang nasimulan niya po sa DILG. Given a chance na ipagpatuloy yun at ipasa po sa inyo at mabigyan kayo ng posisyon ng ating kamalan, tatanggapin mo ba ito ni Ma'am Lenny? Thank you.
Hindi naman yata ako grace qualified doon. Pero si Jess po, isa sa mga taong naniniwala na no one is indispensable. Sabi niya, ang marami tayong talents na available, kailangan lang matap. Sabi niya nga, marami daw mahuhusay na hindi lang nabibigyan ng breaks. Kaya siguro po yung pinakamaganda, sana yung maa-appoint would also share his vision para mapatuloy sana yung kanyang nasimulan.
Thank you very much from Bomborandi, Philippines. Attorney, alam po namin na sinabi namin na interview si Secretary Robredo. In fact, maraming mga members ng local media rito ang umiyak talaga. Ang katanungan ko po, wala ba kayong regrets? Sapagkat siya ay na-appoint, hindi na ma-appoint. Nag-ILG Secretary, although talagang very qualified siya. Dito sa atin, nagsilbi siya for 19 years as mayor. Wala pa kayong regrets, madam?
Wala.
Siya nasa DILG.
Wala. Ako, alam ko na he lived a full life. He fulfilled all his dreams. Just last Sunday, yung Sunday before this Sunday, nag-uusap po kami, na-delay yung flight niya sa airport. We were staying in the car, waiting for the plane to arrive. Nagkakwentuhan kami. Sinasabi niya, kotang-kota na ako. Sabi niya, wala na daw siyang panaginip para sa sarili niya. Sa mga anak niya na lang daw. Parang sinasabi niya na his cup is already overflowing. Parati niya yung sinasabing, yung mga nangyayari sa akin ngayon, hindi ko naman ito pinanaginip. Sobra-sobra na to. Parati niya sinasabi. And I think he was prepared to face the Lord. Siguro po nakwento na din sa inyo na napakadalas nun mangumpisal. Siguro po in a month, 2 or 3 times siya nangumpisal. Kaya palang handang-handa yun. Kaya sa akin I didn't even question kung bakit siya kinuha na maaga. Ako, yun yung ina-explain ko sa mga anak ko na while tragic siguro sa amin kasi hindi kami na-prepare, yung klase ng death na inabot niya, talaga ko reward yun sa lahat ng magandang ginawa niya.
Isang follow-up na lang po. May mga naulinigan kami mga malalapit kay Secretary. Sabi ni Secretary daw, mag-retire na siya sa politics after...
Parati niya naman yung sinasabi. Actually, parati niya yung sinasabi. Every time he feels some frustration, parati niya sinasabing ayoko na. Pero each time, gagawin at gagawin niya pa din yung lahat na kailangan niyang magawa.
Months na lang po ito. Ma'am Lenny, malapit na po yung kanyang function, may pag-ibig po. Isasama pa rin po ba natin si Secretary Jess sa fluvial, as a presidential fluvial procession po?
Ako palagi ko, we will still be there in spirit. Nagsimula siyang maging devotee at 16. When he was 16 years old, ngayon 54 na siya. Walang paltos yun. Taon-taon kasama siya sa traslasyon. Taon-taon kasama siya sa fluvial procession. Itinuro niya sa aming pamilya niya yung devotion. Very regular sa amin yung pag-novena kay Ina. Lahat na pangangailangan namin, itinataas namin doon. Nagpapatulong kami kay Ina. Talagay ko siya, andyan pa din siya. Siguro malungkot yung fiesta na wala siya. Kasi parang naging permanent fixture siya ng lahat na processions for the Peña Francia. Pero sinasabi ko nga sa mga anak ko, mas mabuti nga ngayon, sabi ko kay Jillian, huwag ka na malungkot kasi dati weekend lang andyan si Papa. Ngayon araw-araw na. Alay, ito andyan lang siya.
Message to the Naga, ma'am, and sa lahat po ng pumupuri at magmamahal po sa inyong asawa.
Kami po, lubos ang aming pasasalamat sa lahat na nagpaabot ng pakikiramay. Malaking bagay po sa pagharap namin ng kalungkutan, yung pagmamahal na pinakita ng lahat. Hindi po namin inaasahan na ganito. Alam namin na yung mga taga-Naga mahal siya, pero hindi po namin alam na napakarami na pala mga buhay yung kanyang na-touch. Ang dami pong pumupunta ngayon, mga galing Mindanao, galing Nueva Vizcaya, galing Visayas, galing Northern Luzon. Kahapon po pumunta yung mga governor sa bahay, nag-iiyakan, mga malalaking mama, nag-iiyakan. Hindi ko po alam kung anong ginawa ng asawa ko para ganun yung reaction nila sa kanyang pagkamatay. Hindi niya naman kasi nakikwento sa akin. Pero parang ang sarap kong consolation na lahat na lalapit sa akin nagsasabi, yung asawa mo ganito yung ginawa para sa akin. Magmayaman man, magmahirap. Parang hindi lang po kami yung nakaramdam ng lungkot sa kanyang pagkawala. Pero parang lahat na lungkot, parang lahat ni-regard siya na parang pamilya nila. Ang laking bagay po nun, alam namin na magiging masaya yung asawa ko.
Thank you very much.
Yan po ang isinasagawang press conference ng Mrs. na Secretary Jessie Robredo na si Attorney Lenny Robredo. At sinabi nga po niya na napakasakit hanggang ngayon ang nangyayaring pagkamatay, ang tragic incident na pagkawala ni Secretary Robredo. Pero maluwag daw po nilang tinanggap ang naturang insidente. Makakatulong daw, alam nila, para sa katahimikan ni Secretary Robredo kung magiging matatag sila. Sa press conference ay ikinwento rin ni Attorney Robredo kung paano niya nalaman ang nangyari kay Secretary Robredo. Nagpapaabot din sila ng pasasalamat sa aide-camp ni Secretary Robredo na si Captain o si Senior Inspector June Abrasado. Alam nilang hindi pinabayaan ni Abrasado ang kaniyang asawa. Sa confirmation naman po, hinggil sa confirmation ay hindi na raw po ito inaalala ng pamilya. At umaasa lamang po ang pamilya Robredo na sana ay maipagpatuloy ng kung sino man napapalit sa DILG ang mga programang sinimula ng kanyang asawa at lubos po ang kanilang pasasalamat sa lahat ng mga nakiramay at nagbigay ng pagmamahal sa kanilang pamilya. At yan po ang pinakamaiinit na balita at impormasyon dito sa News TV Live. Tutok lang po dito sa GMA News TV para oras-oras, alam mo. Ako po si Mariz Umaling. Magandang umaga po.